Good morning, everyone. My topic for today is all about sex. Sex is biologically determined based on chromosomes, hormones, gonads, internal reproductive anatomy, and external genitalia. The biology of sex. Sex refers to physiological differences between male, female, and intersex bodies. A person's sex includes primary sex characteristics, those that are related to reproductive system, and secondary sex characteristics, those unrelated to our reproductive system such as breast and facial hair. In humans, biological sex is determined at birth, typically by doctors through the observance of five factors: the presence or absence of Y chromosomes. The sex chromosomes of mammals have evolved over millions of years, originating from two identical chromosomes. Now males possess one X and one Y chromosomes, and females have two X. The presence or absence of a Y chromosome is what determines sex. The Y chromosome contains several genes key to test formation, but while the X chromosome has remained large throughout evolution, with about 2,000 genes, the Y chromosome lost most of its genetic material early in its evolution. The Y chromosome is the one of the two sex chromosomes in humans. The sex chromosomes form one of the 23 pairs of human chromosomes in each cell. The Y chromosome spans more than 59 million building blocks of DNA base pairs and represents almost 2% of the total DNA in cells. The next one is the type of gonads. The gonads, the primary reproductive organs, are the testes in the male and the ovaries in the female. These organs are responsible for producing the sperm and ova, but they also secrete hormones and are considered to be endocrine glands. For the male sex hormones, as a group, are called androgens. The principal androgen is testosterone, which is secreted by the testes. A small amount is also produced by the adrenal cortex. Production of testosterone begins during fetal development, continues for a short time after birth, nearly ceases during childhood, and then resumes at puberty. While on the other hand, the two groups of female sex hormones are produced in the ovaries, the estrogen and progesterone. These steroid hormones contribute to the development and function of the female reproductive organ and sex characteristics. So progesterone causes the uterine lining to thicken in preparation for pregnancy. Together, progesterone and estrogen are responsible for the changes that occur in the uterus during the female menstrual cycle. The sex hormones. Hormones are unique chemical messengers in the body. They are made by specialized tissues called glands. Examples include the thyroid, pituitary, and adrenal glands, as well as the ovaries and testes. Although hormones are active in very small amounts, they regulate incredibly important aspects of human health including mood, reproduction, metabolism, and development. Among the most important are the sex hormones. These particular chemical messengers are made in the ovaries in women and the testes in men and the adrenal glands in both sexes. Although sex hormones regulate key components of development, puberty, and reproduction, they also impact many other health functions including bone health, brain function, body weight and composition, sleep, skin and hair health, metabolism, and cardiovascular health. The internal reproductive anatomy such as uterus in females. It functions to nourish and house a fertilized egg until the fetus or offspring is ready to be delivered. The external genital organs includes the moon pubis, labia majora, labia minora, Bartholin glands, and clitoris. The area containing these organs are called the vulva. The external genital organs have three main functions that enabling sperm to enter the body. In humans, sex is typically divided into male, female, or intersex. Intersex in humans and other animals is a variation in sex characteristics including chromosomes, gonads, or genitals that does not allow an individual to be distinctly identified as male or female. Such variation may involve genital ambiguity and/or combination of chromosomes other than X and Y, typically found in males, and XX, typically found in females. In addition to the most common XX and XY chromosomal sexes, there are several other possible combinations commonly known as intersex, such as Turner syndrome or XO, triple X syndrome, Klinefelter syndrome (XXY), Delaunay syndrome (XX for male), and Sayers syndrome (XY for female). Due to the existence of multiple forms of intersex conditions, which are more prevalent than researchers once thought, many view sex as existing along a spectrum rather than as simply two mutually exclusive categories. The intersex. Intersex infants with ambiguous outer genitalia are often surgically corrected at birth so that they are more easily conformed to a socially accepted sex category. What is considered male, female, or even ambiguous is largely classified by society, and this kind of corrective surgery is a highly controversial topic. Defenders of the surgery argue that it is necessary for individuals to be clearly identified as male or female in order for them to function socially. Many intersex individuals, however, argue that such a procedure is invasive and unnecessary. Some individuals may be raised as a certain gender, boy or girl, based on the sex, male or female, that was chosen from them at birth, but then identify with another gender later in life. Some may even opt to sexual reassignment surgery later in life to align more truly with who they are.
A pleasant day, everyone. I am Shane Elfa, and the topic that I will discuss is about senses. So, what do we mean when we say senses? So, sense is a way that body perceive external stimuli or an awareness or feeling about something. So, senses allow us to observe and understand the world around us. So there are five main ways we can do this through sight with our eyes, touch with our fingers, smell with our nose, taste with our tongue, and hearing with our ears. So we have five senses: sight, smell, touch, taste, and hearing. So how our senses process? So, sensory receptors receive stimuli from the environment and send signals to different areas of the brain where they process and interpreted as sight, sound, touch, smell, or taste. So, each of the senses uses different organs and different types of receptors. So, let's proceed now to the first sense, which is the sense of taste. So, there are thousands of taste buds on the tongue that sense five types of sense: sweet, salty, bitter, sour, and umami. So, the signals sent from the taste buds are processed in the gustatory cortex. So, a combination of taste and smell leads to flavor. That is why food tastes different where your nose is stuffy. So, the next sense is the sense of smell. So, there are a large number of receptors and the upper reaches of the nose. So, this olfactory receptor senses smell using mucus-covered cilia, which are likely tiny hairs that respond to smelly molecules, the olfactory cortex that receives and processes the signals is the front of the brain. So the next is the sense of sight. So the sight receptors are in the back of the eye on the retina rods are used for black and white vision. So vision is the process in the occipital cortex. So the right side of the visual cortex processes signals from the left visual field, and the right visual field is processed in the left visual cortex. So next is the sense of hearing. So hearing involves a complex chain of process, but ends up in the inner ear in a spiral-shaped cavity called the cochlea, where the mechanical signal is turned into an electrical signal to send it to the auditory cortex in the center of the brain. And last sense is the sense of touch. So the skin is the body's largest organ. So it has millions of touch receptors that responds to touch, pressure, pain, and temperature. So the somatosensory cortex processes these signals. So there are more of these receptors in fingertips, lips, and eyelids. So neurologists argue that there are far more than 5 senses from 9 to 21. So this include things like perception of heat, pressure, pain, and balance. But the 5 basic senses are still useful to know. So each of the senses therefore provides important functions and senses a particular intended purpose.